Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the 12th day of of June. 12th day of June 2023. I'm pushing it faster than it's going. It's going fast enough already. I hope you had a good weekend. Happy Monday. And I hope you and your family enjoyed your weekend and that you were all safe, healthy, and healthy. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying to save lives, and those that pick up garbage for us to keep our streets, sidewalks, parks, recs, society clean and disease free. And those also that make deliveries, the humble work of making deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on those that have to do the important, heroic work of delivering teenagers and children who are the future from child molestation and pedophilia, and delivering people from prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, sex trafficking, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on those. Double curses on those that are the perpetrators of these things, damaging and destroying people in society. And those also that are profit from this damage and destruction of people in society. Double curses also upon those that are the perverts that bring the evil upon innocence and create the demand of which other perverts provide the supply. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and mostly children, again, the future, homeless in the United States of America. And millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. Today I want to discuss an important point that is in my mind, and I'm very sure, 100%, it's in Leon Rose's mind. It's something that many people ignore or just doesn't understand, and yet is valuable. That word is no pun intended, as I'm about to say. Very important to the team's organization, the culture, the building, the winning, everything, and especially the money. This is the term value. VALUE. It is extremely important to get value. Everybody wants to get that superstar that is the type of player that makes all, not only is a great player, but is so great that can carry a team with some support to the NBA Finals and possibly win an NBA championship. Everybody wants that guy. And they're looking for that guy. When you're in the draft, you're looking for that guy. They're hoping, for example, Victor Wembanyama is that guy. They're looking for him to be that guy. You're looking for a guy that's a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a Magic Johnson, a Wilt Chamberlain, a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a Shaquille O'Neal. You're looking for Olajuwon. You're looking for one guy that is so good, he could bring you to the finals. Just give him some support. A Larry Bird. But they're hard to get. And when you do get them, they cost you, in this day and age, they're going to cost you in excess of $200 million. Okay? What's the better way to do it, if you can, is to develop from within and get a group of guys that fit and that are providing good value for what you're paying. Miami Heat is pretty much, and the Denver Nuggets are pretty much poster children for this. For example, Denver Nuggets got a two-time MVP, and he's about to be the MVP of the NBA Finals, and he's probably going to be the lead team in the championship right now. He's going to be the champion. That's Jokic. They got him in the second round. Okay? Now, they're going to pay him a lot of money, but they drafted him in the second round. That, my friends, is the textbook, probably the greatest value you will ever see in an NBA player is in Jokic. To get a guy like that in the second round, that's going to get you an NBA championship. That's the dream of every front office. Okay? Very few, again, it only is, I don't think it's ever happened that the MVP of the league is a second round pick. I don't think it's any happened. You have a lot of really great players that come in the second round now, but the MVP of the league, that's value, okay? That's the dream of every NBA GM, because you developed him. He was there with you on small contracts, and when you had to pay him, now you're ready to win championships. That's value, okay? And so Nikola Jokic is the poster child for that. But then again, you look at the Miami Heat. Their biggest expense is Jimmy Butler, right? And he is obviously their big gun, right? After that, it's Bam Adebayo. Then you're paying $30 million to Kyle Lowry, and the rest of the guys, nobody's near that money. Okay, you got $96 million or something like that to Hero, and you got some money out to Duncan Robinson, and they might have overpaid for that. But these guys, none of these guys are first round picks. Okay, and they got you in the finals. So you're trying to build a team that could win a championship, and you're trying to do it, I guess the word is cheaply. Okay, as cheap as possible. Well, the better word is value. Because when you got $162 million cap, you ain't cheap, right? But you're trying to build value. Let's look at the Knicks. Their starting center is Mitchell Robinson. They got him in the second round. They're paying him $60 million over 4 seasons in a declining contract. That's why I'm telling some of you knuckleheads, they will not trade him unless you can get something of greater value. DeAndre Ayton is not value. You're paying over $150 million for him, close to $200 million. And he's no better than Mitchell Robinson. See, if you're the Suns, you better win the chip or you just got ripped off. Versus the Knicks, who got Mitchell Robinson in the second round and paying him less than half what the Suns are paying. That's value. Julius Randle, for all of his faults, is value. Okay? He's an all-NBA player. He's an all-star. He's a 25-10 guy, for all of his faults. And you got him for in the $100 million range. That's value. Most times you'd have to pay a guy like that. Look at Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is really good. You could argue he's better than Julius Randle. But is he 3 times the value of Julius? 3 times better? Because he's about to get $290 million. Is he 3 times better? I don't think so. See? And the Celtics, they're fighting. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is great. But Julius is a better value. So that's why I'm telling y'all, as much as I would love them to trade Julius Randle, one thing that Don is about, one of the greatnesses of this front office is they seek and they obtain value. The worst value contract they have had has been Evan Fournier. And they're about to get rid of him. And he's not no scrub. But the reason Evan Fournier, who's a great shooter, set the Knicks season record. But the reason they're going to trade him is because they got 2 other guys that can play in his position that can not only shoot the rock, but are better two-way players and create better value. That is Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley is the point guard, but he can also play the 2. Okay? So you got better value. You got Josh Hart, better value. He's going to produce more wins for you. And he's going to be less. Okay? So that's why Evan Fournier, and that's the worst contract. That means that their worst contract is a $72 million deal that they're really going to end up paying $54 million for. $57 million for. Okay? That's their worst contract. Versus you got teams out here that hold $200 million contracts for guys that can't play because they always hurt. Like the Clippers or the Lakers. Okay? They big money for people that don't perform at that level that you expect for that kind of money. Okay? Versus the Knicks, their worst contract is Evan Fournier. Somebody can say, well, Kevin Walker, that wasn't no bad contract. That was $16 million over 2 years. In the NBA, that ain't nothing. $8 million on a $162 million contract is 5% of the cap. That ain't nothing. See, that's the dumb. That's why I'm saying to y'all, they won't trade Julius Randle unless they can get equal or better value, which means can they get a player in the $100 million range that will fit better than Julius Randle and produce more wins? That's the question you need to ask. But because, some of us, including myself, were so focused on moving Randle because of his attitude, we forgot about RJ. You see, what RJ Barrett represents is future value. Right now, he's not a value. He's one of the most inefficient, statistically. Now, you got to look at the stats. He's one of the most inefficient small forwards in the whole NBA. I bet you if you were to look at the 30 starting small forwards in the NBA, he'd be in the bottom half of efficiency, no doubt. Okay? Bottom half in efficiency, bottom half in shooting, bottom half in defense. But what does he represent? He represents future value. So that we expect RJ to be really good in about 2 or 3 seasons when he's about 25. He's going to be 23 this year. By the time he's 25 and his body starts to fill in, he starts to learn the nuances of the game and gets him down pat and understands better, more wiser moves. That's going to happen. That happened with Jimmy Butler. That happened with Kristaps Porzingis. They start to learn the game, start to understand their limitations, start to play within themselves more, make less mistakes, become more efficient. RJ has got enough of a brain and IQ basketball-wise to figure that out. So in about 2 seasons, that will be him. Maybe 3 seasons. So that's future value, so that the money you're paying him now in 3 seasons, again, he's going to be making maybe 28 million, 30 million by the time you get there. The cap by that time is going to be 200 million. So you're talking about 15% of your cap. That ain't nothing. Okay, there are cats that's taking up 30% of the cap, 40% of the cap. Okay, so and even then when you re-sign him, if he never becomes an all-star, that 100 million will still be what he'll get then. It'll be less though, because it'll be less of the cap. So he's future value. So what you're talking about with RJ Barrett in terms of a trade is you're trading future value at age 23 for somebody that's present value. That's why we're talking about a Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is better than RJ Barrett in every aspect of the ball, at basketball right now. Right now. He won't be, in 3 or 4 years, but you're talking about purchasing present value in the $100 million range. See? Because right now, Brunson, talk about value. Brunson is worth twice his salary. He's worth twice the $100 million that he got. So for the next 3 seasons, you got unlimited, tremendous value with Brunson. You got value with Randall. So between Randall, Brunson, and RJ right now, they're about 45% of the cap, which is really good position for your top 3 players. So if you can switch out RJ and stay with a player that'll keep you in that 45, 50% of the cap range, you not only got value, but you can win a championship. That's why that's what you're trying to do, win the chip. But you're trying to do it with financial, fiscal responsibility, sound investments. Okay? That's why I'm telling y'all, I'm about 80% sure on this, they would look to trade RJ Barrett for an upgrade, a present value at the 3. Somebody that can give them what they need now instead of in the future. RJ will give them what they need in the future. And if they wanted to run it back, they could run it back and fight with him. I have no problem with that. But if right now, because in the marketplace of NBA talent, there is available value. I mentioned Jeremy Grant. Kristaps Porzingis is probably going to get a 3-year deal with a 4th-year team option somewhere in the $100 million range. The low hundreds, like 100, 120, somewhere in that vicinity. And you can get, that's value in this NBA. That's value. Okay? And he can help you win the championship. We talked about OG Anunoby. That's value. Okay? Especially if you keep him under $30 million, $25 million. You got value right there. And he's 25. So you not only got present value in terms of he's a lockdown defender. He's already been all defense. He's already been that. Okay? He's 6'7", 230 pounds. He can rebound for you. He's going to be tough. Okay? So you get a guy like that, you got not only present value, but you got future value. So that's what the Knicks would be looking for, because these guys are out here. You got them out here. That is why I'm telling you, as much as I told y'all that Mikal Bridges would be the top guy we could get, the Nets would never give him up. They got him locked in for the next 3 years at about $60 million, $20 million a year, somewhere in that vicinity. He's all NBA defense. He can be an all-star, okay? And he's young. He's like 26. You got that locked in. That's a tremendous value. That's why somebody offered the Nets already 4 number 1 picks, and they said no. Because why would they give up Mikal Bridges for 4 shots in the dark. That's really what you're doing. When you get an NBA first round pick, yes, you got a chance to get a great player, but it's a chance versus Mikal Bridges, which is a sure thing. A bird in the hand is worth 4 in the bush. So people have offered them first round picks and they said, no, you got to give us equal value. And that's why I mentioned if the Knicks really wanted to get him, they'd have to offer the Nets IQ and RJ with probably 3 number ones. That would represent value because now you got IQ still on his rookie deal for another season. You got RJ locked in for 4 seasons for like $100 million. You got value for present value in RQ and future value in RJ and the picks. Okay, so that's what it would take to get a Mikal Bridges. I don't know if the Knicks would pay that because they're what am I looking for? They're looking at value shopping. They're trying to save money. They're trying to get the most they can for the least they could pay. Okay, again, look at Isaiah Hartenstein, the backup 5. 2 years, $16 million. Look what he did last year to help the Knicks in terms of the second unit. That's value. See, you still got Obi Toppin and a starter, really, starter level talent coming off your bench. That's value. All right. You got Deuce McBride who can lock up any point guard in the NBA. He's 22 going on 23. And you got him for less than $2 million. That's why he's not being traded. That's value. Okay? So when you're talking about what they're looking for this summer, think about what can you get for the cheapest price, the biggest bang for your buck? What could you get that's going to vault you to the Eastern Conference Finals without paying $200 million? Which is why I'm telling you, Jaylen Brown is out. Why would they? He's good, and he might be able to get you to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's good enough, but that's a risk you're taking for $290 million. And also, Zach LaVine, same thing. Why would you pay $290 million? Is he that valuable that he's going to get you to the Eastern Conference Finals? He might be, but he might not be. It's not a sure thing. And what you want to do when you're dealing with chances like that, you reduce your cost. So if you could have to pay Jeremy Grant $120 million, okay, and it don't work out, okay, that $30 million a year, again, that represents 15% of your cap. And the cap is rising. So it becomes cheaper going forward. See? So that is the type of value the Knicks are looking for, if they can get it. And that's why right now in this era, everybody in the NBA is looking like that. See, the Celtics are in a tough spot. They got to pay Jason Tatum $200. And now they're faced with paying Jaylen Brown, all NBA player, $200. So they got two $200 million players. They're in a better position than the Clippers because the two $200 million players that the Clippers got are older versus these two cats still in their 20s. So they're gonna have to roll the dice like that. They're gonna have to. Okay? So that's their homegrown talent. That's the situation you get in when you draft players and now they did make it to the ECF now. So they got to figure out what they got to do to get that next step. They're right there. But they got to get that next step, okay? I don't know if they're going to do it, but that's their problem. That's what I'm saying to y'all is that the Knicks are not in that situation. Let's say we did get either Jeremy Grant, OG Anunoby, Kristaps Porzingis. Siakam could be a value, but he's a little bit overpriced. Okay? A little bit for his age. If you could get him in the $30 million range, right now he's getting like 40. 38, something like that. So if he becomes a free agent, he might be eligible because the way the rules work, the old timers, your Oscar Robinson, especially Oscar Robinson. Many of y'all don't know, Oscar Robinson was the guy that really stood up for the players back in the 70s, that forced what we have now for players to get close to their worth. And what a player is worth is not only based on their statistics. It's based on what they do in terms of receipts at the gate. How much television revenue, how many people show up for this player. So one of the most valuable players in NBA history was Yao Ming. Not because he was one of the greatest NBA players in NBA history, but because when he came to the Houston Rockets, he was voted All-Star because of millions of votes from Asia. And he brought in what's now billions of dollars from Asia, from revenue from buying, we call it jerseys and sneakers, and then the television revenue and the advertising revenue. He brought all that over here because China alone was 2 billion people. Okay, and it wasn't just China. You had all Asia following him, and that's billions of people. So that's what's called value. Okay, and so that's what every NBA team is looking for. What can we get? How can we get the most W's, the most revenue for the least money that we got to pay? In this day and age, what we're talking about this summer with the Knicks, you're talking about getting value. Some guy that can replace RJ Barrett. I'm telling you right now, some guy that can replace RJ that's present value that can get you to the ECF. RJ might be able to do it, and that would be value. If he takes that next leap, he is value, no doubt. If he takes a leap this coming season and becomes more efficient, that's his biggest weakness, efficiency. If he becomes more efficient and better on defense, that will vault the Knicks to the ECF. Okay? But if you want a surer thing, you need to get a Jeremy Grant, a Kristaps Porzingis, or OG Anunoby. You need somebody in that arena. Somebody solid. Somebody you know. Harrison Barnes, you're probably not going to get him, but if you got a Harrison Barnes, even at age 32, you're going to pay him $20 million at the most. That's value. And you put him in that 3 spot, and you got 15 and 10. You know you're going to get 75% from the line. You know he's going to play defense. That is value. And that's what the Knicks are looking for right now. You got the pieces. You just need value. And so you're going to have to send out some pieces to obtain that value. All right. So that's why NBA teams would be interested in Emmanuel Quickley. They're going to be interested in Obi Toppin because they represent tremendous value right now. Okay, both of them. Tremendous value. So you could get that. You can get what you want if you wanted to trade them. They are not going to trade Julius Randle because of the value that he represents. Okay. You add that value of him with Mitch Robb, Brunson, Grimes. I'm telling you, if I'm right and Grimes is Allen Houston 2.0, you're looking at a future 20-point scorer, a 50, 40, 90 guy, and you got him in his rookie deal. He's going to be in his rookie deal for another 2 seasons. Okay? You can't get better than that. That's tremendous value. That's why they're not trading him. Okay? He's a legit starter. He's the best perimeter defender that the Knicks had on the starting lineup for sure. Okay, so that's why they're not trading him. They're not going to. There's too much value there. All right. So what they're looking for, the weak link here is RJ. Okay, that's the weak link. He represents future value. He does. But the Knicks now are looking for present value. And why? Because right now, it's number one, it's available. It's available at reasonable prices. Okay? And not only is it available, there are guys that want to come to New York, like Donovan Mitchell. They want to come to New York. You got a situation where you built a culture, you built a franchise now from the scrap heap, because that's where the Knicks were just 4 years ago. They built it up, and now you got good players that want to come and play in New York, in the Mecca. So you want to now try to get the best value that you can. Okay? Donovan Mitchell's a value. He's all NBA. He's all star. Okay? He's $33 million next year, which is a little high. But for a guy in his 20s, that's great value. The problem, of course, in my view, is that he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. He's too small. Okay? You got Brunson. But I don't know if they're going to go after him anyway. They might. That's up to Don. It's not up to me. But even if they did get him, he'd be valuable because of the price he's going to cost you versus what he's going to produce. The value is there. Okay. The Knicks may not get to they may or may not get to the Eastern Conference Finals with him. I don't know. But, I can understand if they went and took that chance because he is a high-level star. And he should be getting, his real value is in the $40 million range right now. But he's not getting that. Okay, that's why he's a valuable commodity, Donovan Mitchell. So we'll see what happens. But I feel like the Knicks could get cheaper, better fit, and get just as big a bang for their buck by getting a Jeremy Grant, a Kristaps Porzingis, a OG Anunoby, even a Pascal Siakam at the right price. They're not going to get, unless they, like I said, unless the Nets are willing to accept Obi Toppin and I mean, not Obi, RJ Barrett and IQ and 2 number ones or 3 number ones, which is that's really good, but that's what Mikal Bridges is worth. Okay, especially he's worth that. Period. He's locked in. You put him at that 3 spot, the Knicks are Eastern Conference Finals, man. I mean, that's it. You know, you got Grimes and him on the wing. That's lockdown defense, and both of them will hit open jump shots. It will be amazing, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, but that's what, when you're looking at players for the Knicks, I want you to focus on that. Because that's what I'm 100% sure he's looking at value. Look at his track record. Okay, he's not going to overpay for nobody. He's looking at value. Okay, so anyway, you all enjoy your Monday. Sure.